Welcome the rare gems. The rarest people don't just break the mold, they never fit into one to begin with. Being a Sigma is already uncommon. You don't follow sheepishly, you value yourself, and you see the world through a lens others can't understand. But what if I told you that some of you are even rarer than that? You're not just operating outside the norms, you're operating on a whole different frequency. This isn't about ego or labels. It's about recognizing that you're built differently in ways that defy even the Sigma archetype. While most people are running on autopilot or seeking approval, you're constantly questioning, evolving, and finding your own way. Your ability to adapt, observe, and thrive in solitude doesn't just set you apart. It makes you nearly untouchable. But here's the truth. Being rare can feel isolating. It can feel like no one gets you. And maybe you've even doubted yourself because of it. Don't. You're not alone, and there's a reason you're wired this way. If this resonates, you need to watch this video. Because this isn't just about recognizing how rare you are, it's about owning it, embracing it, and using it as your superpower. Let's dive into 10 signs that prove you're more rare than just a Sigma. Number 1. You're completely invisible when you want to be. There's a difference between being overlooked and choosing to be invisible. You've mastered the latter. It's not shyness, awkwardness, or even withdrawal. It's intentional, precise, and deeply calculated. When you decide to blend in, it's like flipping a switch. Your energy shifts, your presence fades, and people simply stop noticing you. It's not that you disappear physically, but emotionally and psychologically you leave no trace. This isn't avoidance or fear of interaction, it's a skill. You can silence your vibe, dim your aura, and exist in a space without commanding attention. It's as if you've developed an instinctual ability to become unremarkable on purpose. People don't remember what you said, what you wore, or even that you were there. And the beauty of it? You choose when to step back into the spotlight. This kind of invisibility isn't about running from responsibility or connection. It's about control. You can avoid unwanted drama, dodge unnecessary conversations, and bypass people's probing eyes without them even realizing it. It's a shield, a tool, and sometimes a weapon. Few understand the power of disappearing in plain sight. It's not weakness, it's strength in disguise. When you hold the power to fade when needed, you can focus on observing, learning, and moving without resistance. In a world obsessed with being seen, your invisibility makes you untouchable. Number 2. You don't just resist authority. You psychologically deconstruct it. You don't resist authority just for the sake of defiance. It's not about making noise or drawing attention to yourself. For you, it's about understanding authority on a psychological level, why it exists, who benefits from it, and most importantly, where its cracks and insecurities lie. You don't blindly accept power. You analyze it, strip away its layers, and see it for what it truly is, often exposing weaknesses that even those in charge aren't aware of. Your approach isn't loud or confrontational. In fact, it's so subtle that most people don't even realize you're deconstructing their authority until it's too late. A carefully placed question here, a knowing glance there. You don't need to fight the system outright because you're already breaking it down from the inside. It's not rebellion. It's surgical precision. What makes you stand out is your ability to see the human flaws behind the power. You understand that most authority figures are driven by ego, fear, or insecurity. You don't just challenge their rules, you unravel the psychology that created them, and that's what makes those in power uneasy around you. It's not that you disrespect authority, it's that you see through it. This isn't about chaos or anarchy, it's about clarity. You don't destroy for the sake of destruction. You dismantle so that something stronger, fairer, and more functional can take its place. To you, authority isn't sacred. It's a construct. And like any construct, it can be rebuilt, better, smarter, and with far less ego at its core. That's why you're not just resisting power. You're reshaping the entire idea of it. Number 3, you can disappear and resurface without explanation. Your ability to disappear and resurface isn't about avoidance. It's about precision. When you vanish, it's not a hasty retreat or an emotional outburst. It's a calculated withdrawal, a quiet decision to step back and recalibrate without announcing it to the world. You don't owe anyone a play-by-play, and you've mastered the art of leaving and returning without explanation. This isn't ghosting, where people disappear out of fear or irresponsibility. It's something entirely different. When you step away, it's intentional. You're not running from people or situations. You're stepping outside the noise to gather your thoughts, reassess your priorities, or simply reclaim your energy. And when you resurface, it's with clarity, focus, and an unshakable calm that leaves people wondering how you manage to seem so put together. The most fascinating part is how you do it without burning bridges. People don't feel abandoned, they feel intrigued. They can't call you out because you've built a life where your presence is respected but never demanded. They're left questioning what's happening in your mind, but they never feel like they have the right to pry. This ability keeps you unpredictable, uncontainable, and slightly mysterious. It also shields you from the draining expectations of constant availability. You've created a rhythm of engagement that works for you and leaves others adjusting to your tempo, not the other way around. And when you return, it's on your terms, with your energy restored and your focus sharper than ever. It's not just a skill, it's a power move. Number 4, people confide in you yet know nothing about you. People are drawn to you, almost as if they can't help themselves. You have this magnetic quality that makes others feel safe enough to open up, to share their deepest thoughts and secrets. It's not because you push them to, it's just your presence, your calm, your ability to listen without judgment. They start telling you things they wouldn't tell anyone else, but somehow they leave thinking they've truly connected with you. They feel like they know you, but in reality, they know nothing. You've perfected the art of revealing just enough to keep them satisfied, without ever giving away too much. It's not that you're hiding something or being deceptive. It's that you understand the balance between connection and mystery. You let people see the parts of you that they can relate to, the parts they can understand, but you never show them the full picture. There's always a layer of you that remains just out of reach. This keeps them intrigued, wanting more, yet never fully understanding who you are. They think they've cracked your code, but they haven't even scratched the surface. This ability doesn't come from manipulation. It's just who you are. People feel comfortable around you because you're non-threatening, empathetic, and grounded, yet you keep just enough distance to ensure they don't get too close. You've learned how to balance openness and privacy in a way that makes people feel like they're getting to know you on a deeper level, even if they're not. And the best part is, they leave feeling like they've shared their truth, never realizing that you've been keeping your own truths carefully tucked away, exactly where they belong. At number 5, you don't just avoid drama. You see its blueprint. Drama doesn't pull you in, it fascinates you. While most people get caught up in the emotional whirlwind, you sit back and analyze the blueprint behind it all. You see the intricate patterns that others miss, the subtle manipulations, the unspoken power struggles, the predictable reactions that unfold like clockwork. Where others are drowning in the mess, you're quietly dissecting the chaos, understanding how it ticks. It's not that you enjoy the drama, it's just that you've learned how to see it for what it truly is. You know exactly how it starts, what fuels it, and where it's headed. Most people react impulsively, getting tangled in the emotions of it all. But you, on the other hand, can see the puppet strings from a mile away. When you choose to step in, it's not out of emotional involvement. It's because you know how to dismantle it. You've mastered the art of seeing chaos and turning it into order. It's like having the blueprints to a building everyone else is fumbling to construct. You can predict how people will act, how things will spiral, and what the ultimate outcome will be, all before it even happens. And when you choose to engage, it's with precision and purpose, not to add fuel to the fire, but to put it out before it spreads. You don't get lost in the mess of it all because you're aware that there's a bigger picture. If you care enough, you'll step in and reset the entire system. But most of the time you just watch from the sidelines, knowing exactly how it's all going to play out. Number 6, your focus isn't just rare, it's relentless. When you set your sights on something, your focus doesn't just become intense, it becomes otherworldly. It's not mere determination. It's like you slip into an entirely different plane of existence where time slows down and distractions fade into nothingness. While others are juggling thoughts, responsibilities, and external noise, you become a singular force, fully absorbed in the task at hand. The world could be crumbling around you, but as long as your focus is fixed, nothing else exists in your mind. People might watch in awe, wondering if you're even human. The laser-like precision of your concentration makes it seem as though you're operating in a realm of your own, detached from everything and everyone. You don't just focus, you become the focus, to the point where the usual limitations of time and energy seem irrelevant. When you lock in, nothing can shake you. No external pull, no emotional distraction, no doubt. It's this relentless focus that allows you to move mountains when others are still stuck in the planning phase. You don't just meet your goals, you obliterate them without breaking a sweat. And while others might question how you do it, the answer is simple. You don't need to stop, breathe, or give in to interruptions. You live in the zone, and that zone is where you're unstoppable. Number 7. You fear nothing, not even yourself. While most people are consumed by the fear of failure, rejection, or losing what they've worked for, you stand apart. Because your greatest fear isn't external. You fear nothing, not even yourself. You've looked deep into your own soul, confronted your darkness, and come out the other side unshaken. You understand the raw, chaotic parts of yourself, those traits or tendencies that others might shy away from, and you've made peace with them. It's not that you deny your flaws or pretend they don't exist. No, you've accepted them as integral parts of who you are, understanding that they don't define you. Instead, they empower you. You know that within the chaos there is power. You don't fear your potential for destruction because you know it can be channeled into creation, transformation, and greatness. Unlike others who shrink away from their own shadows, you've embraced them fully, knowing that they are just as much a part of your strength as your light. And because you've come to terms with your own darkness, there's nothing that can truly scare you anymore. You don't need to run from yourself, and that gives you an unparalleled freedom. The freedom to go after what you want without hesitation, without fear of judgment or failure. This makes you unstoppable. Because when you fear nothing, not even your own inner chaos, you become an unstoppable force. Someone who doesn't just survive but thrives in any situation. At number 8, you straddle the line between genius and madness. Your mind is a playground where the boundaries of conventional thought don't exist. You don't just think outside the box. You live there, thriving in the spaces where most people hesitate to venture. The ideas that flow from you often hit like a lightning strike, sudden, brilliant, and unpredictable. At first they can be unsettling, even to you. You can't always explain how you arrived at them, and the logic behind them may seem unclear. But one thing is certain. They're always ahead of their time. While others are fixated on what's been tried and tested, you're exploring concepts that haven't even been considered yet. People may label you as eccentric or unconventional, but those labels only scratch the surface. What they don't realize is that your so-called eccentricity is actually the blueprint of what's to come. The ideas you manifest now may seem outlandish to the untrained eye, but in the long run, they'll likely reshape the world. You occupy that delicate space where genius and madness intersect, where reality bends to the weight of your unconventional thinking. It's not about being normal or acceptable. It's about creating something new, something that hasn't yet been understood. So, while others might shake their heads or dismiss your ideas as fantasy, you keep moving forward, knowing that sometimes the line between genius and madness isn't a boundary. It's a pathway to innovation. You're not just ahead of the curve, you're creating the curve. Number 9. You live with a deep sense of urgency, yet you're never rushed. You have a unique relationship with time. While others are either caught up in the frantic race of life or dragging their feet, you move through existence with a deep, almost quiet urgency. It's not panic or fear driving you, but something far more profound, an inner understanding that time itself is an illusion. You know that there's a limited window for what you want to accomplish, and that knowledge pushes you forward with a relentless focus. It's as if you're constantly aware that the clock is ticking, but in a way that doesn't make you frantic, just driven. You have an uncanny ability to stay calm and unbothered while operating at a pace that leaves most people scrambling to catch up. While they rush, reacting to life's demands, you calmly navigate the chaos with precision and efficiency. It's not that you're rushing, your steps are deliberate, purposeful, and steady. But to anyone watching, it seems like you're operating at a speed they can't match. They feel the urgency, but they can't fathom how you remain so composed. What others see as haste, you see as clarity. You know that you have things to do, things that only you can do, and there's no time to waste. You don't have to hurry, you just have to keep moving forward with intention, knowing that every moment counts. Time doesn't control you, you control your experience of it. And that's what makes your pace so powerful. It's steady, unshakable, and unstoppable. At number 10, relationships feel more like optional add-ons. For you, relationships aren't necessities. They're accessories to an already complete life. While most people see relationships as central to their existence, you view them as optional add-ons, like apps on a phone. If they enhance your life and serve a meaningful purpose, they're worth keeping. But if they drain your energy, disrupt your peace, or bring unnecessary complications, you delete them without a second thought. It's not that you're cold or incapable of connection. On the contrary, you value relationships deeply, just not at the expense of your independence or priorities. You don't cling to the idea of companionship out of fear of being alone, nor do you invest in people out of obligation. For you, a relationship must bring something unique to the table. It has to complement your life, not compete with it. This approach confuses people who are used to transactional relationships or those built on dependency. They may accuse you of being distant or uninvested, but they miss the point. You're not afraid of love or commitment, you just refuse to force it. If a connection doesn't align with your values or growth, you're willing to walk away, even if it means being misunderstood. To you, the only relationships worth having are those that add clarity, depth, and meaning. Anything else is just noise. You've designed your life to be whole on its own, and because of that, you're free to approach relationships from a place of choice, not necessity. It's not selfish, it's self-respect. Number 11. You don't just question systems, you redesign them in your mind. You don't just question how things work, you instinctively know they can work better. While others complain about broken systems or blindly accept them, you're mentally taking them apart piece by piece, examining every moving part, identifying the weak spots, and imagining what could replace them. It's not rebellion for the sake of it, it's problem solving on a level most people don't even realize is possible. You don't settle for "this is how it's always been." That phrase irritates you because you see the inefficiencies others have been conditioned to overlook. Whether it's a workplace structure, a social norm, or even the way relationships are built, your mind instantly zooms in on what's outdated, irrelevant, or just plain unnecessary. It's like a mechanic examining a faulty engine, except your tools are your insight and creativity. But what makes you stand out isn't just your ability to identify flaws, it's your vision for improvement. You don't just think about what's wrong. You can see how to make it faster, smarter, or more effective. You instinctively know how to rebuild systems to be stronger, whether it's processes, mindsets, or even personal habits. This mindset doesn't just set you apart, it makes you dangerous to stagnant systems and those who benefit from them. You don't accept inefficiency, bureaucracy, or excuses. And because of that, you don't just live in the world as it is, you're constantly designing the world as it could be. To you, everything is up for reinvention, and nothing is too big or sacred to question. If you find yourself recognizing these signs in yourself, it's a clear indication that you're not just a Sigma. You're something much rarer, something that doesn't fit into the mold society expects. You're the quiet force, the one who thrives in the background, carving your own path with deliberate precision. You have a depth to you that most can't even begin to fathom, and your ability to move through life with calculated independence and strength makes you stand out in the most extraordinary way. You're not here to play the game by anyone else's rules. You're here to rewrite them. Being rare isn't about being perfect. It's about being unapologetically yourself. You understand that your uniqueness isn't something to be hidden, but something to be embraced. You're the kind of person who doesn't need external validation because you already know your worth. And while others may seek recognition, you create your impact in ways that won't be immediately seen but will be felt for years to come. Remember, your strength is in your quiet confidence, your ability to remain unshaken, and your knack for building legacies without anyone noticing. Don't diminish what makes you different. Embrace it. You are rare. You are more than just a Sigma. You are a force that will continue to shape the world in ways only you can. Keep doing what you do best, moving forward with purpose, living by your own rules, and leaving a trail of change in your wake. Thanks for watching. See you in our next video. Bye for now, and God bless.